for some clarification that might embarrass and demonstrate my lack of knowledge, but is it the whole of the drainage system, or is it the area of the drainage system that's impacted that's supposed to be inputting?
If you put drainage in for the wind farm development, then it's asking what the average extent of drainage around those drains will be.
So it's effectively the area of peatland that becomes affected by drainage.
Exactly, exactly.
But
Which
I mean,
is why
that,
we need to know
yes,
it.
yes, but that could actually be, even that simplistic approach could be put into a spatially distributed model.
Yeah, easily,
Yeah.
easily. It's just whether people have the information to drive it. So, you know, we started
And whether the information is reliable.
and whether the information is reliable, yes, which is the other issue.
But you'd still be able to produce that wind again reliable to 20 metres, plus or minus 20 metres, and that's the difference between 50 and 200. You know, that's still accurate within that range.
Yes.
Can I make a comment? Tom mentioned about monitoring, and we do quite a lot of work doing hydrology for EIA, and at the moment the amount of monitoring that's done for hydrology is minimal. Most of it is site survey and using calculated data from things like load and FPH. So the actual intrusive monitoring at that stage is usually quite low. I think it would benefit having more, but there's obviously a cost associated with that, and that's
So is it not important for siting roads and various?
most of that is done. I guess the most intrusive data that we do is peat probing, to identify peat probing, to identify where the peat is, peat depths, and then it's usually best data with the site sample and the calculations from things like the flood estimation handbook and low flows.
I'm really
So the actual monitoring at EIA stage is using existing data. I don't know if other people have got different experiences, but that certainly has been our part of that is cost and timescale. Often as hydrologists we're only asked to contribute within the year before submission, so you don't have the time to go and take that data. And that kind of brings me on to the second point, which is the discussion about how much detail for the work. And there is then, the question I would ask is one of cost versus benefit, given that the work has been done for an EIA, and you know, I'm a consultant rather than a developer, but I'm conscious that developers will not want to spend lots and lots of money if it's not necessary, if it doesn't add value to the EIA, which is the purpose is to get through the planning process. So it's that balance between the level of detail that's needed and providing something that's fit for purpose.
We did try to work from what was typically in EIAs, so that you would, well, partly for our own purposes, we would be able to go to an EIA and do a new site without having to go back to the site and make measurements. The extent of drainage is one thing that's often not in EIAs, and it's a problem.
Some of that's timescale.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, going at appeal, you've probably got more data there than is available to the people at the EIA.
Yeah.
Because often there is some monitoring starts at a later stage.
I'm just aware that Gita wanted to make a few comments.
Sorry, I've got to go soon. Just a bit of background, really. Putting my hand up and say guilty. A few years ago, the reason the Scottish Government commissioned and funded the work was the key question.
Sorry, can you speak up, please?
I'll try. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. The key question that we were asked from our directors were, what is the carbon payback time for a wind farm? And looking at the time, we couldn't answer it. And that was the reason, coming from a source perspective here, that we asked Joe and Dali to do the work, because one of the things that hadn't really been put into the equation there was peat, carbon, soils. And at the time, Joe and Pete Smith had developed a model for organic soils. And so, you know, they did a sterling job, really, given the that was the basis for it. And then we had quite a heated debate. It was a big stakeholder group there. But I think we never thought this would be, you know, the final word. And it was just to say that we do have approval to fund further refinement of the work that Joe and Dolly have done, and I would really, find it useful to see some of the questions that you're posing and suggestions, because that would help the Scottish Government to do the specification in a bit more detail. So during that process as well, we'll have a stakeholder group as usual, and if you have an interest in being involved in that, or you've got some pearls of wisdom to put to that, please do let us know, either through CLAD or direct to Joe or myself. Particularly some of the hydrological questions are quite pertinent, because what we've tried to do is to come up with a site survey protocol, and the key thing that's difficult is the hydrology. So, very well aware of that, but right at the beginning, that was my whole reasoning in some ways for saying someone needs to do some work on it, because it was the wider hydrological impacts on peat, and someone to think about how much carbon was below ground was the whole purpose of this. So it was just to let you know that, there will be some further work, just to feedback any questions. And I think that maybe answered your question that you asked earlier on.
It has to an extent. Can I just follow
Yeah,
that
that's what I
up?
was wondering,
Because that's
just
really
to let us
helpful to know that there will be sort of a bit of Scottish Government ownership of the further development of the model, but it's really just a plea to connect that process with somebody internally that deals with the planning process, so through EIA, for example, to make sure that the sort of realities are built into the model at this stage, because it could develop into a very useful academic exercise on one hand, but if you don't build in right at the start what it is becoming anyway, which is a tool that's used in EIA, then
I know exactly what you mean.
right.
Yes, we do our best to try, and we are engaged with our energy colleagues as well. So it's not in an ivory tower, but it's not always easy to get joined at government, but that's another tale.
If you have to leave, you may not see it, but there are questions where people are asking about extending this to different types of landscapes as well. So, that builds into the planning side that you're talking about, because I think people see the value of it and they're thinking, I could see that this would be used in a hydro scheme. How do we go about doing it then? So it's just to make that point before you go, that there's broader interest from the group that are here as well than just onshore wind.
Do you know, I've got a copy of all the questions, and that's really helpful. If there's any more specifics, it's useful for when we come to discuss doing the next stage of the work.